Hello and welcome to this voyage of Boggle Rocket. The skies of Dino Island are populated by a number of flying vehicles and reptiles alike, some of which I've owned since childhood and some I didn't know existed until recently. It's time for the Boggle Rocket to fly alongside a particularly formidable craft as we take a look at today's destination, Dino Island 5935 Island Hopper. This is a really bulky, sizable set, especially compared to the box. Whether a set fits back in the box once built is kind of an unofficial metric of mine when it comes to value. The chunkiness of those proportions also adds to the sense that this seaplane could really float. Of course, that iconic red for the hero's vehicles shines through again here, although a set we'll review soon kind of goes against that, and the shapes they've managed to capture feel really aerodynamic. Those giant brown props are definitely a highlight, visually and quality-wise. They also echo a visual motif found elsewhere, which is always nice for continuity. In terms of real-world vehicles, I think the Island Hopper most closely resembles a modified Beechcraft Model 18, even just going by the shaping of the fuselage, besides that giant tail fin of course. It's funny that even the colour of this element makes it look like it's tacked on to that existing design. Speaking of things that feel tacked on, a frequent issue I have with Dino Island, though this is admittedly through a lens of more modern LEGO sensibilities, is that the eponymous dinos can be a little lacklustre. This pterosaur is far from set exclusive, appearing in 3 of the sets in the line, making it the most common. I don't think every set needs to come with a unique creature, but even the smaller Dino Explorer's pterosaur was exclusively coloured. In an ideal world, the Island Hopper would have come with a larger, maybe grey pterosaur, perhaps more reminiscent of these modern designs with movable wings, just to add some more variety to the skies of Dino Island. I'd even settle for a brick-built version like this studio is offering from the year following. But I suppose with more advanced dino moulds, similar vehicle and terrain builds, and the inclusion of that classic film camera, these Jurassic Park 3 studio sets already feel like a natural extension of the path Dino Island started to pave. Now, I mentioned movable wings, and unfortunately those of the Hopper itself don't stay on amazingly well, only held on from above with this tile and plate connection. Not a huge problem as you're not going to be folding the wings that often, and any kind of play feature is definitely appreciated, but certainly something that requires careful handling. The Hopper feels packed with features in a world of Star Wars ships which all include the standard opening cockpits, some of them not even being functional, and tacked on stud launchers or spring missiles. In the Island Hopper, alongside that cockpit, we have detachable wings and tail to recreate a crash? I sincerely hope not. And some excellent storage space in the back. Here we'll find another of those classic film cameras, whose lens doesn't seem to want to stay on my copy, with a printed element, along with a shovel, rifle and charming classic backpack, which actually opens. I've stored some spare goggles in there. Though this element frequently sees stress marks and breakage around the neck brace from where it rides up as you close it, I still prefer it to LEGO's current offerings, which is to say they don't offer opening backpacks anymore. Finally, there's a... oh dear, that is not the way ejector seats are supposed to launch. This is another flaw in the construction, whereby pushing the pilot down into their seat can cause some unintended bay doors to open. Let's hope there's a parachute in that backpack too. On the subject of the pilot, time will tell, but I think this is the only Dino Island set I'll be able to acquire which includes minifigure Pippin Reed, as she was known in the UK. Her only other appearance is in the large, rare and pricey Dino Research compound. Flying solo in this set, this makes her the joint rarest character across the line, alongside the evil Alexis Sinister. Reed features here sporting a flight helmet, a set exclusive configuration, although the pieces are not unique. I actually prefer this look for her rather than her pith helmet, as it sets her apart from Dr. Kilroy as the skilled aviator she's clearly become since the trio's trips to the desert and jungle. I also enjoy the little green accents on the pontoons and tail to visually complement Reed's green overshirt. It's more subtle accents like this which I've been known to harp on about in previous videos. However, some accents which do feel unwelcome are those blue bricks not hidden enough behind the engine cylinders. Likely included as a visual aid during construction, it's unfortunate that they were left exposed, as by 2000 the piece had long been utilised in more cohesive colours, not limited to black in the very same line in the Dino Research compound. This set is a strange one. It's not one I placed a lot of stock in besides in the interest of completion, but having built it I'm pleasantly surprised with both its size and charm. Though this might surprise some, the Island Hopper nonetheless remains low on my list of favourite sets in the line, just because of its somewhat tacked on dino. Without it, there's nothing on first glance to tell you that the plane isn't part of the town theme. but I do love the Amelia Earhart style Explorer parallels, and the fact that we get Pippin Reed in a comparatively affordable set which makes it somewhat essential for collectors, to say nothing of its considerable size which makes it crucial to the shelf footprint of the line overall. Though the flaws in its construction bring it down from sky high, I can still moderately recommend this one. Since my last review, I've actually managed to track down all but the largest Dino Island set far quicker than initial eBay scarcity caused me to think I would, so I suppose it's time to reveal that I will be reviewing every main set up to that point. I may take some breaks in between for discussions or reviews of more current sets, but for today, that's all for this voyage of Boggle Rocket. Who knows where it'll go next? There's a few destinations on the horizon and I hope you'll come along for the trip.